Well, just got done watching a piece on Good Morning America with Lou Dobbs and the reporter from The Nation about whether or not he hired illegal immigrants knowingly. Now, from the sound of it, hate to tell you, Lou, you screwed up. You hired them pretty much, without even really caring whether or not they were illegal, without really vetting out the companies that hired the illegal immigrants in the first place. You, and now you just sit there and, you say, no, I never did this, I never did it, I never knew in any way, shape, or form. There were 9 people living in a 2-bedroom apartment above your barn. Now, let me say this again. 9 people living in a 2-bedroom apartment above your barn. They were working 12-hour days. None of them spoke English. None of them really made a lot of money. Sure, they were legal in Mexico. Makes no sense. And all you do is you sit there, just like every other time a Republican conveniently, changes their position because it suits what they're doing at the time. You just conveniently deny that you ever did anything wrong, that you ever did anything that you never had anything to do with what happened, just like every other Republican out there. Lou, you're a hypocrite. You're a liar. You're an idiot. This automatically puts you right in the classification of idiot, because you expect the entire American public to believe that you did nothing wrong, that you had nothing to do with it, when they were working on your farm, working for you. You refused to reply to the news story when it was being written. To sit back and say, well, I only had a couple days to answer those questions. Well, that tells me that you personally had no intention of answering those questions. You're probably just going to hand them off to one of your news guys, or one of your people working for you, and have them answer them. Come up with some stock response that you already had somewhat planned. Somebody who's a little more intelligent than you are to actually reply to those questions. Instead, you chose to say nothing. Other news agencies have offered to have you on other than Good Morning America or CBS, and you refused to, MSNBC, which is, the other news organization you were on, and you refused to answer their questions, much less even go on the air. So that tells me you knew exactly what was going on. You just prefer to say, no, I have no clue, I did not know this. We all want to save a little money now and then. We all, don't necessarily want to pay the high price of, landscaping work or having somebody shovel shit in the barn. So instead, maybe we'll hire somebody who's a little less expensive, who may not be operating completely legally, but they're the cheapest guy in town and they still do some work, some good work. Okay, I understand that. And if you'd have come out and said, well, I made a mistake, I did something I shouldn't have done, I should have investigated a little further and said, maybe, this wasn't the company I should have hired. Okay, great. Instead, you say, well, I never used these people, when the evidence is right there in front of you. Just like every other time a Republican messes up, you just say either I didn't do it or, you know, I misremembered facts. That's another popular one. Or it slipped my mind. You know, rather than saying I'm a liar or I screwed up. Just come out and say it. I screwed up. Big deal. Everybody makes a mistake now and then. Nobody's infallible. Not even you, Lou Dobbs. So, you know, instead you expect the entire American public to believe that, you know, you had no knowledge of what was going on your own property. Who was taking care of your $1 million show horse? You know, then again, this is the same American public that elected George W. Bush twice, is getting ready to hand Congress back over to the Republican Party, and is honestly believes that all the mistakes of the last 10 years all fall on the people who've been in power for all of a year and 10 months. Okay, I can see where you would believe that you could get away with saying I didn't do it. I can see where that would be plausible, but bottom line, you lied. You cheated. You screwed up. You're an idiot. You're a hypocrite. And if you ever run for office, I hope you fail miserably. That's all. More to come.